The next topic for today is AWS CLI. So what is all about AWS CLI? AWS CLI is an open source tool that enables you to interact with AWS services using commands from your command line interpreter. So the AWS CLI enables you to start running commands that implement functionality equivalent to that provided by the browser-based AWS Management Console from the command prompt in your terminal program. So it is a unified tool that provides a consistent interface for interacting with all parts of Amazon Web Services. So the most recent major version of AWS CLI version 2 supports all of the newest features available in AWS GUI, that is AWS Management Console. So by default, AWS CLI sends a request to AWS services by using HTTPS port number 443. And to use AWS CLI successfully, you must be able to make outbound connections to TCP port number 443. And these port numbers should be enabled on your laptop or desktop. Okay, so that is how AWS CLI will be able to communicate with the virtual machines that you are hosting in AWS cloud. So let's perform a lab exercise to understand how CLI works. Okay, there are few prerequisites. To begin with, an IAM user who has programmatic admin access to control these AWS resources from CLI, we need to create a IAM user. IAM stands for Identity and Access Management. Next, we need to have the user account access key ID, that is this particular user's name, the username of IAM user, and secret access key, that is the password of this IAM user, AWS region, where you want to deploy your resources in AWS cloud, and AMI image, that is Amazon machine image. It is a template ID that determines the operating system that you want to have in the virtual machine, whether it is Linux or Windows based operating system. And finally, we need to have a tool, a software tool to perform all these tasks, that is the AWS CLI software. Let me share this link in our group chat. Please download this software and let's perform this lab exercise. Okay, we will be installing this AWS CLI interface. So launch the software with a link provided. The link is also provided in the description. Click on next, accept the terms. Click on next. Click on next. And click on install. Okay, now the AWS command line interface has been installed successfully. The version is 2. All right. Okay, so we have completed the last step. This step we have completed. Let's capture the prerequisites, the informations that are needed. To begin with, let's create an IAM user. All right. To do that, I will take you back to my AWS Management Console. So right now I'm in my AWS Management Console. I'll be creating a user, IAM user account. So I'll go the shortest way. At search bar, I'll type IAM, Identity and Access Management. I'm selecting the IAM service. So as of now, there is only one user available. All right, let me create a new user. On to the left side, you can see the access management, user groups, users, roles, policies, correct? Here it is, the users. So we'll be creating a new user now. Let's click on users. There is already one user name. I will delete this. I'll create a new one. Okay. Let's click on add users. I need to provide a username. I'll give CLI admin. And we need to select the AWS credential type. There are two. One is access key, that is programmatic access, and another one is password, that is AWS management console access. For this lab exercise, only the first one is enough because we will not be logging into AWS management console with this user. Suppose you want to create usernames for your friends and colleagues, allow them to access your user account, then you will have to select the second one. We will explore all these features in the upcoming class. So we'll go with access key, that is a programmatic access is what we have selected. Click on next permissions. And let's go with attaching an existing policy directly to this user. Click on attach existing policy and select the first one, administrator access. Only this policy is enough to perform all the tasks from CLI, from command line interface. So we'll go with next add tags. Tags is optional. If you wish, you can provide. I will skip this. I don't want to give any naming convention. There is only one user. And finally, click on create user. So here we need to capture a couple of informations. This will come handy. Also, it's a best practice. I'll open my Word. Access key ID, I have copied. And we have secret access key. This is the password. That's it. We'll close it. We created a new user that has a programmatic admin access. We have captured user account access key ID and secret access key. Next, we need to know the region where exactly you want to host this virtual machine, correct? So I'll come back to my AWS management console. Here I have North California is the region. Okay. Let's say I want to create this virtual machine in US West Oregon region. Okay. And this particular availability zone, that is US West -2. Oregon region is what I selected. The region is availability zone is US West 2. Next, we need to know the image. What is the image? Whether you want to have a Linux-based virtual machine or a Windows-based virtual machine. I don't have the image ID, so I will go to EC2 instance. From there, I will capture the image ID. This is the operating system that will be installed in my virtual machine when I create from CLI. Okay, so how to capture my image ID, how to know? So here we have various operating system. Any operating system of your choice, you can select, you just click on that. Okay, here you will see it got changed. Earlier it was Amazon Linux. Next, I will click on Amazon Linux. You can see here it gets changed. The information gets changed. Got it? So this is the AMI, Amazon Machine Image. So since I want to create a Windows-based virtual machine, I will click on Windows operating system. So I got the image ID. I will capture that image ID as well. All right, we have all the prereqs which is needed. We can move on to the lab exercise straight away. All right, so since we have already installed the CLI, let us start launch our command prompt. I will be launching command prompt CMD. I will select run as administrator. Okay.
Sir, we are not able to see your screen.
Yes, sir. There is a time lag. You should be able to see.
Yes.
Yeah, now we can.
Now? Okay,
Yeah.
Good. So we have created, we have installed Linux, that is a AWS CLI tool, and we need to check whether it has been installed successfully or not. Correct? So let's type a command, AWS dash version. So if the path is set, it will run this command. Okay. I'll capture all these commands. So the next command is to check where is AWS, in which particular folder or directory it is installed. We can type a command where AWS. So this AWS CLI has been installed under program files, Amazon folder, AWS CLI v2, and here is the aws.exe. So every time you type in the AWS, this is the command followed by the switch, the parameters that we need to provide. Okay, so henceforth, our commands will start with the AWS followed by the switch or the parameter. So now we have installed AWS CLI. We need to configure this AWS CLI because our computer or this program where it has been installed, it is not having any details where to go and create the instances, correct? There is no link between our laptop and the AWS account, what we have created. So let us configure. Type in the command AWS configure. Okay, so it will ask you to provide the AWS access key ID. Okay, let me capture that from the file where I stored it. For 1 quick second, I will stop sharing and I will share it back again. Okay, so here is the access key ID that I captured, correct? I will provide this access key ID. Next, the secret access key I will have to provide. I have captured the secret access key. This is the password for the username, what we have created. I provided the secret access key as well. Next, the default region name, it says US East 1. That was the information captured last time when I performed this lab exercise. So here I have the availability zone. It is US West 2. Okay, I have provided that. And the default output format, it will be JSON. So whenever we perform this command here in CLI, it will provide the standard output. We can see that output here. All right. So we have configured our CLI. So any resource that we are going to create henceforth, it comes here in the Oregon region in our AWS management console. So we are not going to perform any steps here in GUI. We will use this GUI only to verify the resources, whatever we have created, is it visible here or not? That also we can check it through command line interface. We will keep this as a standby. All right. So to begin with, we need to create a key pair before creating the virtual machine. So the command is, let me prepare those commands here in my MS Word, and then I will copy that command in the CLI. All right. So AWS is the command, And what is that we want to create? We want to create a key pair for our EC2. Create key pair. And the key name is, what is the key name that you want to provide? The key pair name. Okay, I will call it CLI Lab. Okay, so this is the parameter that I'm giving, highlighted in yellow. And the query is a key material type. You should be very careful. It should be double hyphen. Okay. And what should be the output? In which particular file, the key pair, what we are creating, it should be created. It should be saved. And once again, you should be careful. Output, I want it in text format. It'll be CLI lab.pem. Okay. So these are the two parameters that we should give. The remaining thing is the standard command. Okay, this is the standard command, and these are the two parameters that we should provide. So now I have prepared this command. Let me copy this command and execute that command in my AWS CLI. Okay, so here it will not take in double quotes. I need to provide in single quotes. I'm sorry for that. This is usually happens when we type in MS Word and try to bring it to the command prompt. The best way is to do it with
to give double hyphens, right, sir? Next to key pair, it has taken only one hyphen there.
Yes, correct. Let me check that. I want to put it in MS Word so that you will be able to see. In command prompt, it will be too small. That's the reason I chose the MS Word.
Yeah.
Let me correct that and I will copy paste. Okay, I corrected that command. So this is what I gave. The correction was done. There was a single hyphen. So now we have created this key pair. So how to check? In corporate environment, what happens? We will not have access to the GUI. Okay, everything we need to do it through command line interface, especially if it is a Linux-based virtual machine. If it is Windows, no problem. So since we have executed that this command, let's check whether this has been created properly. Of course, in Windows, it is not case sensitive. We can give in both uppercase and lowercase. What is that I want to check? EC2, describe key pairs. Please remember this, describe key pair or describe instances. Describe is one popular command. So this will give the details of whatever the previous command that we have executed. You can see here, there is a key pair that has been created in the name of CLI Lab. To verify, we will go back to our AWS Management Console. I will launch my EC2 instance. I'll go to EC2 dashboard to verify whether it has been created or not. Please be noted, I'm not performing any activity, any steps in GUI. In AWS Management Console, I will perform all these activities only in CLI. For verification, I'll come back and forth here in GUI, that is AWS Management Console. You can see there is one key pair that has been created in the name of CLI Lab. This is the date and timestamp that has been created. Okay, let's go back to EC2 dashboard. And you can see all other remaining things are 0. The instances running is 0, placement groups, volumes, security groups is 1. This is the default security group. All other things are 0. All right. Now we have created this PEM key. Next is we will be creating a virtual machine. Okay. To do that, I'll create another command. This type, the command is AWS EC2. I want to create running instances, right? Instances. Image ID. You remember, I captured the image ID. This is for Windows, correct? That is Amazon Machine Image ID. I'll provide this. And count how many virtual machines you want to create. You want to create 1, 2, 3, up to 20. 20 is the number limit. We have discussed this, right? So I will go with the 2 to check. All right. And instance type. Instance type, it will be T2 micro. That is the family type, instance family type. Okay, dash dash. This should be enough. We don't want to create a key pair or anything at this point of time. And yes, we need to provide the key name, correct? Key name, this is the key name that we have provided. Okay. Okay, I created, I think here, once again, we have instance type. There should be, and key name once again. Okay, looks all good. Let me copy this command which I prepared. Okay. It is micro, not micros. I'll remove that one letter S extra. So what is the key pair that I gave? CLI-lab.pem. Okay, .pem is not required. There is a version incompatibility. I'll remove .pem. So now we can see the instance has been created successfully. Let me correct the command. .pem is not required. So we were able to initiate creating a virtual machine from our CLI. This is the complete description of that virtual machine. Okay. Now let us go back to our AWS management console. Here you can see the instances running. It shows 0 as of now, correct? So it is already been initiated. So when I click on refresh, you will see number 1 coming up. 2, because we have selected 2 virtual machines, right, to create. Okay. You can see here, there are 2 virtual machines getting initiated. Availability zone US West 2C is the place where it is getting created, but the region will be Oregon. Okay, that is what we have selected. It will be US West number 2. This is the region code, and this is the availability zone code. So now the virtual machine is getting created. You remember what we used to do? Once the virtual machine is created, we used to come here, give the name, right? We used to provide a naming convention. So we will perform that from CLI. Okay. To do that, we need the instance ID. This is the instance ID. For this virtual machine, I want to give the name. Okay. I will copy this instance ID. I'll keep it handy. So this is my instance ID. For this instance ID, I will be providing a naming convention. This instance ID, we need not to capture from our AWS management console. We can capture this from our AWS CLI itself. Okay, to perform that, we will type AWS EC2 describe instances. The same thing what we had seen in the previous screen, the same thing will come. Okay, so instance ID here you can see. Okay, there will be 2 instances IDs since we have created the 2 virtual machines. And for this instance ID, you can see it has been created under US West 2C availability zone. This is the private IP address. This is the public IP address. All information is available. Okay, so this is the information that I was in need of. I just copied that. You can see this is the same. Okay, the above one was captured from GUI. The below one is captured from CLI. Both are same. Next, I'm preparing a command to give a naming convention, the tag for this virtual machine. The command is AWS EC2 create tags. We need to provide the resource, right? A resource. Okay, here is the resource ID or the instance ID. I'll copy this. And we need to provide the tag, right? It is a tags key. The name and value we want to provide. I will call it a CLI, maybe VM1. Okay. All right, let me check whether the command is proper. We have, okay, here we go. All right, now the command is prepared. Let me run this command in my CLI. The tag name has been provided. Okay, so we can check that once again by typing AWS EC2 describe instances. This is the key name, and this is the T2 micro family type. So this is the security group ID. We need this ID also. I will capture this ID because for our next step, we need it. Security group ID, I will call it. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. So here we have that CLI Lab. Okay. We should be able to see that name somewhere here. I think somewhere we missed it. No problem. We'll check here. We'll refresh. We should be able to see that name. Yes, the name what we have provided, CLI-VM _1. This is the command what we provided, right? This is for creating the virtual machine. Yes, here it is. This is the tag name that we have provided for our virtual machine. Now we have provided the tag name, and what is next? We need to create the security group, right? Without the security group, you cannot log into this virtual machine. Right now, we'll see, is there any security groups? By default, there will be one security group. You can see this. This is the security group. So if you can select the inbound rules, there will not be any port numbers added. So here we need port number 3389. That is for RDP connection to take, correct? So we need to add the port number. Let me create a command for that to add a port number. How to provide a port number? Let me move on to the next screen. Let me create a command. It's a lengthy command. AWS EC2 authorize, I think ZD, I think. Let me check. Authorize security group, either groups or it will be group. Ingress group it is. Group ID I need to provide. What is the group ID? Here I have captured. The group ID is this. This is the group ID, and group name was default actually. We did not create our own security group. We have picked up the default group name. And we need to add the protocol, right? What is the protocol that you want to add? we want to add TCP protocol. The port number will be 3389. That is for RDP, and the CIDR block will be 0.0.0.0/0. Let me reduce the font so that you'll be able to see in one single line. Okay, it is AWS EC2 authorize security group ingress. Okay, here we need to have 2- group ID. Group ID is this, and group security name is default. The protocol is TCP, and the port number here once again, it should be 2. Port is 3389, and the CIDR block. The CIDR block is this. Okay, so the command is ready. I will copy paste this command. Let's check. It is giving some error. Okay, here there is no extra dot. Extra dot is not there. Okay, good. The new security group has been added, the port number 3389. To verify this, we can type AWS EC2 describe security groups. It will give the same screen once again. Okay, so the port number 3389 has been added. To verify this, you can come back to AWS Management Console. We'll refresh once again, inbound rules, edit inbound rules. If you check, you can see one new port number 3389 has been added. This is in case of Windows virtual machine. Suppose you have picked up a Linux-based virtual machine. You need a different port number, right? You need port number 22, correct? All other commands, everything is same, except the port number will differ. I'll execute that command. So now the port number 22 is added. If you refresh it, you will see that port number 22 has been added. You can see here, port number 22 is added. Similarly, you want to use HTTP port number 80, correct? HTTP. So the port number 80 is added. Now only 3 port numbers, rules, or security rules you will see. So when you refresh it once again, you will see one more port has been added. So likewise, we can execute the commands from CLI, add the new ports, delete them later. We will perform those things later. So these are all the inbound rules. Remember, while learning the EC2 quick referral guide, we were talking about total 120 rules that can be set. Right now, 4 rules are set. Okay, so these are all inbound rules. Like this, you can set 60 inbound rules and 60 outbound rules that can be set. Okay, so with this, we have completed creating a virtual machine and adding all the things that is needed. Here you can see there is security group. There is only one number, correct? This security group has got 4 rules that has been set. Please remember, this type of security groups, up to 5 security groups can be added for each and every virtual machine. So each security group can have 120 rules. The rules what we have said just now, 4 rules, similar type, 120 rules that we can set. So with this, the virtual machine is created from CLI. You can log into this virtual machine using your the standard protocol what we follow, either using MSTSE or using the GUI or SSH or Telnet. Any of this protocol you can use to log into this virtual machine. Okay, so with this, we have successfully created this virtual machine from CLI. Now we want to delete these resources, correct? We don't want to leave this resource intact. So what we used to do earlier, after completing our lab exercise, we used to come to dashboard, click on this running instances, select them, click on instance state and terminate instance, right? But we don't want to do that. We want to do it from CLI. How to perform that? Let me keep this. Now it is in the running state. I will go back to my Word file. Let me create a command to delete these instances. Okay, let's perform this command in command prompt and come back here to check to GUI once again. Okay, the command is AWS EC2. What is that we want to do? Whether you want to terminate, you can type terminate. Whether you want to stop, you can type stop. Whatever is the command, whatever is your choice. I want to terminate an instance. Terminate -instances. And what is the instance ID? Okay, instance ID somewhere we have copied. This is the instance that I want to terminate, correct? Okay, now the command is ready. Here there is a mistake. Okay, all other things looks fine. Let me execute this command. Now the command has been executed. It says it is a shutting down. Quickly, let us go back to our AWS Management Console. Click on refresh. The running will go. It gets changed to shutting down. Do you see that? Okay, similarly, let us try to stop instance. Okay, this second one is running, right? Let me capture this. Second one, I will try to stop. The instance ID I need to provide because it is having a different ID. Okay. So the second instance I'm stopping, the first instance I terminated, correct? Let's come back here, click on refresh. You will see different state, correct? So friends, this is how we can perform the CLI. Next, we want to delete, right? We have deleted the instances, one terminated, one stop. So now we can see the running instances are 0. It moved to instances. Volume, there is 1 volume because it belongs to the second instance which I stopped. Let me terminate that also. let me say terminate. So this also gets terminated. This volume 1 becomes 0 within no time. Now we can see that hard disk is also deleted. Key pairs, the key pair is still left out, right? So what to do? We'll delete the key pair as well. Okay, so the command is AWS EC2. What is that we want to do? We want to delete key pair. And what is the key pair name? Key pair name we had given, yes, this is the key pair name. .pem is not required. AWS EC2 delete key pair, and we missed one more command. Key name is CLI Lab, correct? Okay, there is one mistake here once again. Okay, so this should go. Okay, now the key pair also has been deleted. Maybe you can check here itself. AWS EC2 describe key pairs. It will show empty. Now you can see key pair is empty. Let me go back to AWS Management Console. Here key pair, it is still there. If I say refresh, that goes away. You see that? Good. So this brings us to the end of our topic, AWS CLI. We will move on to the next topic.